It's miserable out here. And guys, just to give you a sense of what was going on in the second half, I don't know if it carried over on TV, but it was miserable in the second half, and hence why Drake May and the Broncos offense couldn't do anything out here. It's miserable right now. I mean, Ryan, I do hear your optimism, and I completely agree. I mean, today just backed up that the Broncos found their franchise quarterback undoubtedly, and it's Bo Nix, and he is that guy. And man, if they had Bo Nix, they would have won this game. Guys, they were in the position where they wanted Bo. They got the ball with 3:05 left, down 3, had a timeout, had to drive the field. There's no doubt in my mind Bo Nix would have led them to a touchdown or at least a much closer field goal there. And it's nothing with Jarrett Stidham. He was put in an awful, awful position having to start his first game of the year. There's only one other guy that's ever had to do this, start your first game of the season in a conference championship game. So it's nothing against Jarrett Stidham at all. It's just, man, if Bo was healthy, there's no doubt in my mind we're talking about the Broncos having a chance to win the Super Bowl in 2 weeks from now, because that's how close this game was. And in the locker room, I just got out of there as it closed down. A lot of disappointment, some tears floating around. And then also there are guys already looking at the positives of just Pat Surtain said, this is just the beginning. This is the start. We're only going to build from here. And I think I completely agree with that, but definitely mixed emotions after the game. Sean Payton was the first one to point the finger at himself, say this starts with me and the coaching staff. And the theme of Sean Payton's post-game press conference, guys, was we just didn't do enough. Specifically when it came to the offensive side of the ball. He said we didn't run the ball well enough. We didn't throw the ball well enough. Sean actually thought that the Broncos had one of their best run game plans of the year coming into this game. And then obviously we didn't really see that come through to be one of the best running performances for them. So a disappointing end to just a tremendous, incredible season. Those were some of the words that players also used in the locker room to talk about this season. And I think we all agree with that.
Hey, Zach, what did Sean say about the Stidham, I guess, backwards pass? Did he have anything to say about that?
Yeah, he said that was the turning point of the game. Obviously, that was the turning point in the game. That's the only reason that the Patriots were able to score a touchdown was because of that. He didn't disagree with the call. He said he hasn't really seen it and needs to get a better look on that. So when we talk to him on Tuesday, Benny, we'll probably get a better look at that. But he's 100% right. That definitely was just the game right there. Obviously, you hoped with so many more quarters of football left that wasn't going to be the case. But once that weather turned, man, it turned and neither offense was able to do anything. Wil Lutz wasn't able to make a couple of field goals. In fact, I'll just talk about that Wil Lutz field goal near the end of the game that he missed. He did say in the locker room, it was very hard to see where the yard markers were, and he thought that maybe the snap was about a yard short or a foot short of that, and then he just didn't hit it right. And obviously, I mean, 2 missed field goals in a game that comes down to 3 points is brutal. But this loss wasn't on Will. This loss wasn't on Jarrett Stidham. In fact, Mike McGlinchey, Benny, after the game said, if you put this loss on Jarrett Stidham, that's bullshit. So he had his quarterbacks back. This was a team loss, and Sean really put it on himself first.
He's coming into a tough situation, hasn't thrown a pass in 2 years. Did you hear anything from the receivers? I thought the receivers, they struggled today in terms of catching the ball, but also just making big plays and coming up big for Stiddy. What did you hear from those guys?
Yeah, that was a big bummer during the game. Pretty much all 3 playoff games the Broncos have had, there's been the receivers haven't come up big for the quarterback, whether it was last year with Bo having multiple drops and Buffalo having some drops last week, and then again today, some drops. It was clear that Jarrett Stidham, his timing was off with some guys in this game, but then it was also clear that guys just weren't able to hang on to the ball when thrown his way. I think Marvin Mims definitely had a good game. That 52-yard catch got the Broncos offense going, led to the only touchdown of the game for the Broncos. But outside of that, Courtland Sutton didn't have his number one type of wide receiver game. Little Jordan Humphrey wasn't able to come up with one. So disappointing game from receivers. And that's what I saw big time on social media was Broncos country pounding the table for a receiver in a big way this offseason. And hey, after seeing what they did or didn't do in these playoffs over the past 3 games dating back to last year, I understand. But what I will say really quick about the receivers is Marvin Mims, can we please get him a bigger role and the start of the season, week 1, and just do not go away from him, because this guy is a playmaker. Whenever he's given an opportunity, he comes up big. We obviously saw it last week. We saw it again this week. He needs the ball, and I heard you guys talking about that play where Stidham threw the interception at the end. Stiddy was just trying to make a play there. From my understanding, I don't even think that it was really supposed to go to Marvin's way at all, and that's why you saw just a very big disconnect between Stiddy and Marvin on that one, and Christian Gonzalez was reading it the whole time.
Zach, I'm just curious kind of your personal emotions right now. How are you feeling coming out of that one?
Yeah, it sucks because the Broncos were so close. And I think the thing that really sucks on one hand and is awesome on the other hand is Bo Nix is that guy. And if they would have had Bo Nix, there's no doubt in my mind that the Broncos win this game, not just because you have your starting quarterback. That's obviously huge. But again, 3:05 left in the game. Bo Nix has come up in that situation every single time this year. He would have done it again in these conditions. And we saw Drake May's legs be a huge part of the game. The defense actually talked about it after the game, just about how that was kind of the difference for them. They did everything right except for stop Drake May on the ground and except for get takeaways. Those were kind of the two things that defensive players talked about after the game was, man, yeah, we did a good job, but we got to take the ball away. We did not do that for our offense, especially for Jarrett Stidham. And the second thing is we weren't able to stop Drake with his legs. Bo Nix does that with his legs. And there was a first down that Jarrett Stidham was really close to getting, which he didn't get, which actually led to Sean Payton's decision to go for it, which I'll hit on that in a second. Bo Nix gets that right there. So again, it's nothing against Jarrett. It just shows how special Bo is. And if he doesn't get hurt last week, the Broncos are in the Super Bowl. So it sucks because that's the reality that an injury kept the Broncos out. But then it's also reassuring for the future. And that's kind of the same emotions that were in the Broncos locker room. This sucks right now, guys. Some players in the locker room weren't able to look at the big picture, and I don't blame them. It's like they just finished this game and their season was ripped away from them at the end. But some guys were able to look at the big picture and say it's a tremendous, outstanding season. We're going to build from here. This is going to motivate us going forward. And because I mentioned that fourth down, that was the biggest talked about thing with Sean Payton and a lot of players in the locker room as well. With 10 minutes left in the second quarter, 4th and 1 on their 24-yard line, I believe. Sean Payton decides to go for it and run that play. Sean was asked about it, and he said, man, we just had all of the momentum there, and I thought getting a 14-0 lead on them would have been huge in this game. Was asked if he, in hindsight, regrets it. He says, of course, with hindsight, maybe you would do things differently. So he did take a step back. But also, guys, to be fair, it was perfect conditions then. It was a little chilly, but it wasn't even as cold as we thought it was going to be. I believe Sean thought that it wasn't just going to turn into this like blizzard where no one was able to do anything in the second half. If he would have known that, and heck, maybe he could have known that from weather reports, then maybe he does take the field goal there. But there was some looking back from Sean, and I'm sure when we talk to him later this week, he would probably say that he wishes in hindsight he would have took the field goal there. But obviously that was the difference in the game. 3 points right there. And then he also did say that they had a run called, and then a timeout was called. They switched it to this pass, and he said, hindsight being 2020, that run was probably the thing we should have done.
I don't agree with the chat, but some people in the chat are saying that we need to fire Sean. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, get out of here. This guy should have, he's done everything to be a top 3 coach of the year. I could easily make a case for Sean Payton being the coach of the year. Look what he did. 14-3, number 1 seed in the AFC. I have 100% confidence in Sean Payton leading this team forward. Just look how much he's turned around this franchise. And, oh, by the way, he did it with $35 million in dead cap for Russell Wilson this year. When he gets that money and they're able to continue to build around Bo Nix, it's going to continue to be special. And Pat Surtain said it, guys. This is just the start, and I believe that it's just the start with Sean Payton as well. I believe Sean's going to be here for many more years. So if you don't like Sean, you're not going to like this team for a long time because he's a tremendous coach and got this team in this position. One more thing, guys, really quick. If you have more questions, but I have to make sure that I say this. In the locker room, Nik Bonitto and Jonathan Cooper kind of did a joint press conference after the game. Both very defeated. Those were two guys that did didn't really want to look at the big picture because of how much this weighed on them. And Nik Bonitto said something fascinating. He said it's sickening because knowing we're definitely the better team, it just didn't play out that way today. So Nik Bonitto, even after the loss, making it clear that he believes the Broncos were the better team over the Patriots. It was pretty strong comments after that game.
Love it, Zach. Appreciate you. I'm genuinely sorry we made you wait. I didn't know you were waiting out there. So way to be
not at all.
A fucking warrior and gut it out.
Thanks for putting on
us.
a coat too, bro. Way to put on a coat.
Don't worry, I got the QZ under too.
There you go. All right, get home safe, bro. Drive safe on the roads.
See you, fellas. Thank you for having me on. Love this season. Love talking with you guys after every single game. It's a highlight of my week.
Hell
Talk
yeah,
soon, man.
brother.